Hello Lagos, make we yarn.
Hello, boy, if this POS matter, don't pass your boy. Let's go swipe, alert no enter. Before you know it, jump.
Wait, wetin really happen?
Maybe you fake alert the warriors.
Okay, so wanna listen to If you dey do POS business, no expose your alert.
Hello, Ogbefi. They don't walk that road where they warriors for down our local government for years.
This one sweet me, I no lie you. Because you know what? Development where they work, it deserve loudspeaker. Now why we dey here be that? For here, we know the abuse, we dey bring solution. My name, it is Ikechukwu Oyemike, aka Ogbefi Ishegwari.
Make we yarn every weekday from 10 a.m. go reach 12 o'clock on Top the Eye 95.9 FM.
Welcome back to Just Africa. We apologize for that breaking transmission, but we're back. And of course, joining us today to have this conversation is Amin Mukhtar. Everybody knows him as Oyi Amin, but he's a creative executive in music and film, talent manager and filmmaker with over 15 years of experience shaping African entertainment across music, film, media, and live events. Just off show, I was asking him, were you the person who manages she? And he said yes, and I opened my eyes like, okay. Many people know the artists, but they never know those who are behind the artists. From managing Billboard charting projects to executing high-impact PR campaigns and directing iconic visuals, Mukhtar's work bridges creativity and commercial execution. Welcome to Just Africa, Mr. Amin or Mr. Mukhtar. Which one should we call you?
Anyone.
Amin. This is good.
I'm happy to be here.
I want to ask, why Mukhtar?
Mukhtar is my first name. It's an Arabic name that my Muslim parents gave
you.
I'm a Muslim, by the way.
What does it mean?
It means special.
Hey! It's okay. You're very special. And you're welcome to the special show that we have today.
Thank you very much.
Look, just like I said in the intro, many people know the artists, but they don't know the people behind it. So essentially, you guys are the brains behind these artists becoming global successes. First off, how do you do it? Let us know your strategy. How do you spot talents that will go global?
Spotting talent that will go global is basically uniqueness. Uniqueness, intentionality, and hard work.
You see it in the person from day one?
Yes. Almost everybody, in my own opinion, and my years of experience, I believe everybody is talented. Maybe not in entertainment, but everybody is talented.
Okay.
And in entertainment, almost everybody that thinks they can sing can actually sing. But what differentiates a superstar and a wannabe is the time that goes into perfecting your skills, the intentionality, not settling for the surface level, like. Oh,
yes.
When somebody tells you they can sing, they sing to you, they probably sound like one of their idols. So you can, you sound like Two-Face, you sound like Kiss Daniel. But it takes intentionality for you to be able to now craft out your own unique style and sound. For example, when Kiss Daniel came out with Woju, everybody is saying, oh, it sounds like Nice, it sounds like Two-Face. That was the conversation then. If we go back to the journals, journalists, that was the review. But, after 2-3 songs, he's able to perfect his sound that is not a Kiss Daniel sound. Nobody is saying it sounds like Nice or Two-Face, no more. So, and before he even got to the point where he did Woju, he must have done a lot of work on himself. I was part of his development as well. His name used to be Eurykis. Eurykis, that was his first name then.
Okay.
So, I saw the growth, how he kept working on himself, how he changed his name. So those are what you see, the intentionality, because a lot of these artists that get signed, if you go back to the backstory, they'll tell you, the people that work on them will tell you, oh, I've known him for 5 years, but we just started working last year. So that means you continue to see growth in the person, like, okay, he's not where he used to be. So there are some artists that you meet them for 3 years, 3 different times in 3 years. They're playing you the same song that they played you 3 years ago. You meet them last year, it's the same song. You meet me this year, you're playing the same song.
Again.
Do you understand? Nobody's going to take you serious, but people want to see growth. People want to see intentionality, like, okay, I tried this. I tried that. Because now there's a joke that people tell that musicians are now more than the listeners.
Okay, so you've been in this industry for 15 years or above 15 years, right? Something like that.
Something like that,
okay,
yeah.
so what are some of the challenges that you've experienced managing known brands? Not just young and coming now. Known brands, known artists that are there, their faces are there. Of course, your face may not be there, but their faces are there. What are some of the challenges you have managing them?
You mean right now at the beginning?
All of the time.
Managing big brands, the challenge now, but there are not really challenges per se. Now, it's just like a job. There is high competitive job. Now there's a lot of money, so you have to be on your A game because the next person is ready to take your job. If you have to constantly improve yourself, research, network, look for opportunities, and be able to instill confidence in your talent to say, okay, I'm working with the right person.
Okay, do you have to bend to the tune of the artist at every time, like every time? Because sometimes as a talent manager, you see some things differently from them. But at some point, they want to do it their own way. And your way is better off. So at that point, what do you do?
Okay, so the job of a talent manager is for you to be able to see what your talent wants. You need to see the dream of your talent. So I feel like that's one of the basic. When you want to decide to work with somebody, you say, okay, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? What is the big picture for you? And then the artist will paint their vision.
Okay.
Then your job is to be able to frame the vision, that's add or minus what they are trying to do, in most time add to it, then now create a plan on how to achieve it.
Okay.
So that is your job.
And what if you accept to go with your plan?
Yeah, I mean, then you will not work. So the talent wants to see that my manager gets the vision, gets, my image, what I'm trying to do. And then my manager has a plan that is realistic, that we both are convinced that, okay, we can achieve this. Do you understand? So if I meet somebody from the streets now, and then I say the plan is to get 100 million to execute,
Okay.
he will look at me like, where are we going to find it? But if I say, okay, we'll look for 500,000 or 1 million, it's still a lot of money to come by, but at least it's not scary like 100 million. Then we'll now find a way on, okay, so how do we get to this 1 million? Like that, we can now say, oh, we do these shows like this, we do this one, we'll be able to. So your job is to be able to convince the talent that we are going to Z, but before we get to Z, this is how we navigate A, B, C, D. And then both of you need to agree that, okay, this is realistic, and then you follow through. Then you, as a talent manager, you need to be aware that somebody might come along that will show your talent an easier or faster way to get to where they are going to. So you have to be on your A game to make sure that at every time you have, the best strategy. So that would be the challenge, because before now, there was a time when Two Faces manager, Efe Omerigbe, he has a company called Now Music. At the time, he was managing about 15 A-list artists, which is like about 75% of everybody in the industry.
Yes, no.
He was managing Two Face, Two Shots, Nigga Raw, Rugged Man, Mr. Cool. I can go on and on and on. So, but now, there are so many managers. Now Music is part of the people that, groomed a lot of managers. From there, the management company broke. So there were so many road managers that now became executive that, now started growing. And then we have Storm Records that have groomed different managers. So my point is there are so many managers in the industry now that know their onions, they are really good, really talented. So you have to be the best that you can be for you to be able to, that will be the challenge for you to be able to keep your job as a talent manager.
They say that we lack structures, as there's a structural gap in the African entertainment industry. But we go to the Grammy, not once, not twice. In fact, Tyler has won this particular category that she won the back-to-back.
Yeah.
Yes, people still say we have structural gaps. And in my head, I'm thinking, if these structural gaps are filled up, what will we now win? Is it Oscars? I know Oscars for a movie, but what will now be higher than a Grammy? Or what potential would we see when we now fix or plug the holes?
Okay, so when we are talking about structure, we are talking about Nigeria, we're not talking about South Africa. South Africa has a better structure and infrastructure
than we do,
as far as the entertainment is concerned. I would say, I would like to believe, and I believe that we are, in terms of the music, we are the most talented, we are the most hardworking, and we put a lot of effort in what we are doing. But let me rewind back. Before now, the biggest music stations that is Africa used to be Channel O. Where was it? South Africa. MTV Base used to operate out in South Africa. Even when they had office here, they used to send tapes to South Africa for approval before it's played. So they had infrastructure. They have better structure and better, they are very intentional. But in terms of what we do, in terms of the investment, not the government, the creative industry have invested a lot of money in itself. So that is what we have, and I believe we have the talent. And when it comes to African music on the global stage, I believe that we are contributing well about 60–70% in terms of the quality of the music that we make and how we collaborate with the rest of the world. Now, that being said, we are running on an infrastructure that we did not build.
Explain.
Okay. Now, how do our fans listen to our music? Apple Music, Spotify, did we build it? No. YouTube, no, we did not build it. How do we had Koson. Koson is supposed to be in charge of copyright
and all that. Okay.
Yeah, but I don't know any artists that earn money from Koson. And in Nigeria, we have over 500 radio stations that exploit Nigerian works every single seconds. The creative are not getting paid. But guess what? BMI, PRS, they pay our creative. Did we build BMI? Did we build PRS?
So if the media houses are not paying our creatives, whose fault is that?
I'm not saying they are not paying. There is a collecting society, COSON. So they are not supposed, a media house is not supposed to pay the artists directly. They are supposed to pay the collecting society. And the collecting society is supposed to have an infrastructure that tells how many times my song is played around the country. When the checks come, they are able to divide it, every artist, and everybody is supposed to get a check. But I'm not saying they are not paying checks, but I don't know anybody that is getting check.
Wait, Mr. Amin has brought this. I could have just ask you. There's this argument that I've been in the industry. Thank God I played in that industry for a while. That artists tend to always demand that they get paid each time their songs are played on radio. And the radio will tell you, we are helping you to broadcast your music. So why would we pay you for it?
Yeah, so there's a legal framework everywhere in the world. In fact, as creative, we used to do something. There's a day we celebrate, No Music Day, and where we tell all the radios that you can't play our music so that you can know the value that we bring to radio. When works are being played on radio, we need to get paid. Yes, I'll tell you why. The reason why your revenue as the media station comes from advertisement. That is how you should get your money. So why do people tune to any media? It's for entertainment. It's either you're playing movie, you have an interesting program, or you play music. So it's like I'm saying, when you produce your show, you should not get paid. You know, you should get paid. So the same way the artist's music is entertaining your audience, they should get paid. And that is why Imagine a radio where from morning to night you're just playing adverts. How does that work? or you just go on radio and they just talk from morning to night, no musical break. Even on news stations, you have to usher in music to, intervals to relax your audience. So artist music needs to be paid for when it's used. And that is what, and this is not just me because I'm a creative, this is what the Constitution says, is their intellectual property.
Why are the artists not pushing? Because right now they come to radio stations, media houses rather, and tell you, play my song. How much will you take to play my song? So why are they not pushing that? Okay, this is my work. This is what I'm doing. This is where I earn from. Why am I not being paid? Why can't they hold Koson responsible?
Yeah, people are holding Koson responsible. A couple of older artists are in court with Koson as we speak. Okay. There's a whole big case around money because there's no even argument about paying artists. The radio station, every year, they pay their quota to Koson. Yeah. And the money is not getting to the artists. So no radio station in Nigeria.
Is there a way the artists track? Because you just mentioned there are over 500 radio stations. How do you track the ones that play your songs?
Yeah, so on my phone, there are so many apps, again, that is not built by Africans. There's an app where you subscribe to and can track anywhere in the world where your music is being played. Anytime any station is playing the music, I get an alert to say your song is being played in South Africa, in Kenya. Wow. That's another infrastructure that is not built by African that we are enjoying. So, everybody is just happy that they are getting by, but we are losing a lot of money.
Yeah, exactly.
So because, for example, all the American apps that we use, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, and the rest, once it's time for the artists to get their revenue, the American Constitution says you have to pay tax, right? So because you are not an American citizen, so they just summarize it, 30% withholding tax. So meaning if I make 1 million,
300K, probably just
go to America to fund their own system because the solution that generates the money for you is built by an American.
Where does the money?
So for every Lamborghini, for every Ferrari that a Burna Boy or a Rema is buying, so imagine that the government could have gotten that 30% to buy ambulance or to put anti-snake venom in a general hospital.
Okay, so what do we need? What do we need? What do we have to do not to lose the money we are losing right now?
What we need to do is, one, we need to build our own infrastructure. Okay. And we've seen industries in the world that have built their own infrastructure. For example, China. People that do business with China will tell you they don't even use WhatsApp because WhatsApp is also an American solution. Yeah. They have WeChat.
Yes, they have WeChat.
So they have their own infrastructure. They have their own streaming platforms.
Yes.
And so they build their own infrastructure. So it's possible. So now when we have our own infrastructure that is viable, our own platform and Apple Music, they have like a relationship to say, okay, give us American catalog that you have for the Nigerian app, and the Nigerian app will exchange, and then we can have a fair deal where they don't have to take 30% from our creative just because you are providing the solution. But we don't have that. And beyond that, we are not getting value for the work that we are putting in. So when we have 1 million streams, for example, by Nigerians, Nigerian creative gets 10% of what their counterparts get. To put in perspective, if Wizkid and Drake on 2 different songs have 1 million views on the same platform, Drake gets like $5,000, Wizkid gets like $500. Yes, because they will tell you, because the subscription is different. The subscription of Apple Music for American listeners is like $14. In Nigeria, it's like $1,400. If you convert to dollars, we are paying like $1. The people that are listening to Drake is paying like $10. But And Apple Music overhead is in dollars. Their head office is in America. They pay American tax. They pay American minimum wage. So their overhead is... But if we have our own infrastructure, our artists will be able to earn better. Because I listened to the band about this topic, and he's saying we have 250 million people. America has 350 million people, and they've been able to use it to leverage the entertainment industry. Los Angeles economy, about 40% of it is as a result of their entertainment. And if they were a country as a state, they will be the 4th biggest economy in the world. And so if we build our own app, we'll be able to properly onboard at least 200 million people on our app that will be able to, and we'll be able to fix a subscription that is affordable. Because even the 1,400 on Apple Music is too much for average Nigerians. So, but if you look at, for example, a subscription of 100 Naira and you have 200 million people.
Wow.
It's a lot of money. And then we'll be able to keep all of those money within our country.
Exactly.
And then we can now go to America and charge them premium if you want access to African entertainment. So those are what we mean by structure. So all the money that all of these artists are earning, I'm sure for if the money is coming from America, America is taking 30% withholding tax. That is how much money we are losing because we don't have structure.
Time is not our friend, I'm so sorry, but we have to bring you again. I know if we're going to accommodate another virtual conversation, we would, because this is very, very... A lot of people need to know. Because look at most of the things you're even saying, like, I'll just write down, like, are you serious? And we've been playing in this field that we didn't even know this much. But again, you've done film, you've done music, you've done video, you've done artist management, only you won in this space of time. If you were given a chance to project for Africa, say, okay, like in another 10 years, where do you think the continent will be in terms of entertainment?
In terms of entertainment, until we start owning our... It's already happening. Mohabudu has an app where she's distributing her music, not only the educative videos, people can take courses on the app. So imagine Netflix, where you can also get courses that you can use to secure jobs. That's what she's doing. So she's tailoring solution that meets the demand of locals. So we need more people to go in that direction. Film One has an app too, it's called Cover, to distribute their music. They've been running cinemas for 10 years. So they have huge catalog of movies that is now on their app. So if we continue in that trajectory, we'll be able to properly stamp out piracy, generate more revenue for our creative, and overall get more money to fund the industry. The way I project it is that Africa is very, very rich with talent. So the same way that Hollywood and the American music has transformed the economy of LA, it can do that for us as a country. Because if you look at this country, there is Kannywood. They are extremely talented. In the north, they are doing their numbers. If you go to, in the east, they have the Nollywood in, I don't know if it's Owerri or, they call it one particular name, where they make epic movies. Asaba. So, no, see, if you look at the budget of their production, it's so small. So imagine you put money into what they are doing. Even Moabudu started from Niger Delta too. She started from there, and she's become such an African powerhouse. So if you come to down south, Femi Adebayo just test run something, an experiment where he puts his movie only in Southwest cinemas, and it grossed about $500 million. So we have so much potential if only we can keep all of this money within our shores. Most of this money that we see are going out because when you look at all the executive producers of these movies, they are finances from foreign countries. They are not locally funded. So a lot of money is going out.
We'll have this conversation again. We'll have this conversation again. But thank you so much, Mr. Amin, for being a part of today's show, because his journey makes one thing that is very, very clear, that Africa's creative success is not accidental. It is built. You have to plan it The structure needs to be there, the vision needs to be there, and of course, use strategy, storytelling, and intentional talent development. As African music and film continue to command the global attention, the real challenge lies in building systems that protect creativity. Thank you all so much for joining us on today's episode of Just Africa. I am Maybe. We'll come again tomorrow. Please do well to subscribe to all our YouTube channels and, of course, our social media platforms. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Lesotho, a country like no other on the African continent, and in fact, like no other in the world. Nestled entirely within the borders of South Africa, Lesotho holds a unique geographical distinction. It is the only independent nation on Earth located entirely above 1,000 meters in elevation. Its lowest point, at 1,400 meters above sea level, is higher than the highest points in countries like Netherlands, Denmark, or even the United Kingdom. This extraordinary altitude earns Lesotho its nickname, the Kingdom in the Sky. Lesotho is one of just 3 countries in the world that are completely surrounded by one other country, the others being San Marino and Vatican City in Italy. But unlike them, Lesotho is not a microstate. It boasts a proud population, a strong cultural identity, and a landscape marked by rugged mountains, deep valleys, and fast-flowing rivers. What also makes Lesotho stand out in Africa is its climate. While much of the continent is known for its warmth, Lesotho regularly experiences snowfall, especially Majek Fashek's 1991 album, Spirit of Love, was a groundbreaking success in Nigeria. Earning critical acclaim and resonating deeply with audiences. Produced by Little Steven Van Zandt, the album masterfully blended African spiritualism, percussive rhythms, and protest songs infused with black consciousness. Fashek's distinctive sound, marked by rhythmic pauses, a set of choruses, and the inclusion of talking drums, added to the album's energetic and impactful delivery. And spiritual struggle, reflecting the political and social climate of the time. The success of Spirit of Love, coupled with Fashek's tour alongside Tracy Chapman, cemented his place in the annals of the Nigerian music industry. In this music review and special report prepared by Bayo Olawe, we examined the profile, power, and legacy of Spirit of Love, a 10-track masterpiece that helped solidify reggae music's mainstream status in Nigeria in the early 1990s. The album opens with Beware, a wake-up call that urges Nigerians to remain vigilant against deceptive leaders and the manipulation of political power. The second track, So Long, Too Long, is a rallying cry for Africans and African Americans to awaken their potential and fulfill the dreams of revolutionary icons like Marcus Garvey and Martin Luther King Jr. In Majek Fashek Inner New York, Fashek reflects on his idealized vision of New York and the harsh reality of urban poverty and homelessness, revealing a sobering contrast. The title track, Spirit of Love, conveys a powerful message about the endurance of love over material wealth and worldly desires. On Ja People, the fifth track, Fashek criticizes oppressive political systems, likening those in power to Babylon people who exploit and subjugate the masses. He calls for resistance, lamenting humanity's obsession with control. In Religion is Politics, Fashek delivers a bold message about the misuse of religion to spread hate and fuel conflict. He urges people of different faiths to see beyond dogma and work together to build a better world. Holy Spirit presents a prophetic vision where 7 angels are sent to destroy the earth due to human transgressions. Yet, Fashek envisions a new heaven and earth, one filled with love, unity, and divine justice.
I can see brothers and sisters, they sharing love together now. I can see new era and new world, oh Lord. Yes, I can see, yes, I can see, yes, I can see, brothers and sisters.
With Send Down the Rain, Majek draws on the metaphor of rain as a reward for diligent effort. The track reflects his spiritual longing and anticipation for success based on the principle of reaping what one sows. I'm Not Tired reaffirms his unwavering commitment to spreading God's message. Here, Fashek expresses spiritual resilience and praises the goodness of God, refusing to grow weary. The album closes with I Come From the Ghetto, a powerful reflection on the struggles of ghetto life, child abuse, government neglect, and hardship. Yet, Fashek celebrates the strength of these communities, invoking figures like Nelson Mandela, Jesus Christ, and Marcus Garvey as examples of greatness emerging from humble beginnings. He reminds us of the universality of these struggles across Nigeria, the US, and the UK. With Spirit of Love, Majek Fashek delivered a masterclass in artistry and advocacy. The album remains one of the finest reggae albums to emerge from Nigeria, exploring themes of love, peace, unity, corruption, self-awareness, revolution, spirituality, and racial equality. The perfect blend of traditional percussion, particularly the gong-gong and electric guitar, gives the album a timeless edge, merging the soul of Africa with global reggae rhythms. Spirit of Love is more than just an album. It is a cultural artifact, a sonic protest, and a spiritual message. It elevated Majek Fashek as a voice of the people and established reggae not just as entertainment in Nigeria, but as a force for awareness, resistance, and healing. Its enduring legacy is a reminder that music, like literature, can move a nation, challenge its leaders, and inspire its people. I'm Moyosore Adebi for SOUQ News TV.
Optimism is a strategy for making a better future because unless you believe that the future can be better, you are unlikely to step up and take responsibility for making it so. Responsibility is the price of greatness. How else can one explain the thought process of a 24-year-old youth leaving the luxurious comforts in the United States to fill in for his incarcerated father in sub-Saharan Africa, Nigeria, and run a family business holding the fort till stability was achieved? This is the story of Abdul Samad Rabiu, an unassuming, silent achiever. Samad Rabiu attended Capital University, Columbus, Ohio, and returned to Nigeria to oversee the family business when his father, Ishaku Rabiu, was detained by the administration of General Muhammadu Buhari for allegedly not paying the rice report duties. Not only was his father under investigation, the family business was under scrutiny. These harsh realities of being thrust right into the middle of it all shaped the young man's resolve to hard work in silence. Abdul Samad Rabiu is the son of one of Nigeria's foremost industrialists, late Khalifa Ishaku Rabiu, founder of Ishaku Rabiu and Sons Group, the family-operated holding company with a history of investment in manufacturing, insurance, banking, and real estate. In the 1970s, the group invested in manufacturing, with its first investment being the Kano Suits and Packaging Cases Company, a factory producing suitcases and handbags. In 1972, the Bagauda Textile Mill, manufacturing woven clothes for uniforms, importing and trading in different segments of the economy, including frozen food service, sugar, and a motor vehicle and parts distribution company specialized in Daihatsu products. Abdul Samad Rabiu was born with a very big silver spoon in the ancient city of Kano on the 4th day of August in 1960, 57 days to Nigerian independence. 24 years later, responsibility beckoned. He was in the family business till 1988. Abdul Samad Rabiu, following in the steps of the family business, established BUA Bois International Limited in 1988. Solely for commodity trading, Bois International Limited imported rice, edible oil, flour, iron, and steel. The much-needed wins to his sale came in 1990. The government, owners of the Dettol Steel Company, got into a contract with Bois to supply its raw materials in exchange for finished products. This was the young company's much-needed windfall. Bois expanded further into steel, producing pellets, importing iron ore, and constructing multiple rolling mills in Nigeria. Nigerian Oil Mills Limited, the largest edible oil processing company in Nigeria, was sadly bought by Bois in 2005. Bois started 2 flour milling plants in Lagos and in Kano. By 2008, Bois had broken an 8-year monopoly in the Nigerian sugar industry by commissioning the second largest sugar refinery in sub-Saharan Africa. In 2009, the company went on to silently acquire a controlling stake in a publicly listed cement company in northern Nigeria, Sokoto Cement, and began to construct a $900 million cement plant in Ogu-Ogbela, Edo State, completed and commissioned in 2015, which was at that time the single largest non-oil investment in South Nigeria, and had a capacity of 6 million metric tons per annum upon completion of the second line. This was followed by a new 1.5 million metric tons line in Sokoto in 2018 and another 3 million metric ton line, which commenced in 2020 and was commissioned in 2022, bringing the total installed capacity for his cement holdings to 11 million metric tons as of January 2022. Abdul Samad Rabiu is very entrenched with his family in business, having over 40 siblings. His younger brother, Rabiu Ishaku Rabiu, was the CEO of IRS Airlines Limited, an airline based in Abuja, Nigeria. It operates scheduled domestic passenger services. Its main base was Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport. The airline was established in 2002 and started operations in March 2002 and ceased operations in 2013. Kabiru Rabiu, our younger brother, currently serves as the Group Executive Director of BUA Group. In 2020, Kabiru was named the Best African Economic Leader under the age of 40, the 100 African Economic Leaders for Tomorrow Awards by the French Institute, SOUQ. BUA invested $300 million in the 20,000 hectares Lafiaji Sugar Estate project, which comprises a sugar mill, sugar refinery, ethanol processing plant, and 35 megawatts power plant. The company also built an export-focused refinery in Port Harcourt, the only destination sugar refinery in sub-Saharan Africa. Abdul Samad Rabiu is constructing a 200,000 barrels per day petrochemicals refinery in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria. The agreement was signed with Access of France in August 2020 for the refinery aimed at serving Nigeria and the West African petroleum refining needs. It is expected to be completed and operational by 2025. The privately owned Omu Obela Cement Company was in January 2020 merged with the publicly listed Cement Company of Northern Nigeria, where Abdul Samad Rabiu already held a controlling stake in the $3.3 billion transaction, and BUA Cement PLC was born. Abdul Samad consolidated all his food businesses in sugar, edible oils, rice, flour, and pasta milling into a new company, BUA Foods PLC. In December 2021, it was listed on the Nigerian exchange. BUA Foods emerged as a consumer goods leader in market capitalization, experiencing a phenomenal 206% year-to-date appreciation. Share prices soared from 65 naira per share in December 2022 to the current value of 379.9 naira per share as at 24th March 2024. In terms of fundamentals, BUA Foods exhibited robust financials with a 54% increase in profits to 105.6 billion naira in the first 9 months of 2023. Revenue witnessed an impressive 80.95% year-on-year growth, reaching 524.428 billion naira, and return on average equity stood at 43.42%. Despite challenges, Rabiu strategically increased his direct shares in BUA Cement by 56.37%, totaling 96.12% ownership. This move, executed on June 26, 2023, demonstrates Rabiu's confidence in his company's future growth. BUA Foods PLC and BUA Cement PLC companies are among the top 10 most valuable publicly listed companies in sub-Saharan Africa. From a relatively small company in 1988, BUA Group has grown to a world-class conglomerate, contributing significantly to the country's GDP while providing employment opportunities for tens of thousands of Nigerians. Abdul Samad Rabiu's philanthropy is silently second to none. He founded the Abdul Samad Africa Initiative, ASR Africa, and an African-focused fund for social development and renewal which seeks to support Nigeria and other African countries in the area of health, education, and social development. In October 2022, Abdul Samad Rabiu, through ASR Africa, donated $500,000 to the United States Agency for International Development, partner on tuberculosis control, HIV, and gender-based violence prevention efforts in Nigeria. Development of a 7.5 billion naira 200-bed specialist hospital in Kano State during the global COVID-19 pandemic. Abdul Samad Rabiu championed Nigeria's donation to this COVID-19 intervention by a single individual or corporate donating, amongst other things, 1.35 billion naira to the COVID private sector coalition, 300 million naira to the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, over 1 billion naira in cash donations to 10 state governments across the country, 70 ambulances, medical equipment, face masks, provision of foodstuffs for over 1.5 million persons in Kano, Lagos, and River States. ASR Africa Initiative donated a 4 billion naira police hospital in Abuja and donated 1 billion naira each for 6 universities across Nigeria through the ASR Africa Tertiary Education Grants Scheme for infrastructural development. The beneficiaries of the 6 billion naira tertiary education grant schemes are Ahmadu Bello University, University of Ibadan, University of Maiduguri, Nnamdi Azikiwe University, University of Ilorin, and the University of Benin. ASR Africa Initiative also donated 2.5 billion naira each through its tertiary healthcare development grants for health projects across 4 geopolitical zones in the country. These are in addition to 5 billion naira donated to build the first teaching hospital in Akwa Ibom State, donated 10 billion naira to the Security Support Fund of the Nigerian government. Abdul Samad Rabiu was awarded the 2022 CEO of the Year at the African CSR Awards, 2016 African Industrialist of the Year Awards by the All African Business Leader Awards, the 2022 Sun Man of the Year Awards, 2020 Vanguard Business Person of the Year, and the New Telegraph Philanthropist of the Year 2021, a recipient of several honorary doctorate degrees from various universities, including the University of Benin, Nasarawa State University, Sokoto State University, and Crescent University. Abdul Samad Rabiu is a fellow of the Institute of Directors, and he currently holds the prestigious Nigerian National Honors, Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, CFR, Commander of the Order of Niger, CON, as well as the highest civilian national honor in Niger Republic. Abdul Samad Rabiu is married with children. His children are Mustafa Khadija Kupi Rabiu, Ishaku Khalifa Rabiu, Junad Rabiu. On the 22nd of January 2024, Forbes estimated Rabiu's wealth at $5.9 billion, putting him as the 6th wealthiest man in Africa and 508th in the Global Billionaires Club. The family man, the silent achiever, the giver, Abdul Samad Rabiu.
From the early days of humanity when people roamed the earth unclothed, to the Stone Age when leaves and natural materials were used for modesty, clothing has undergone a remarkable transformation. As we progress to the weaving of fabrics and the art of textile printing, Ankara emerged as one of the earliest and most distinctive forms of attire. Today, Ankara has evolved beyond its origins, becoming a significant cultural symbol for various ethnic groups, states, and nations. Ankara, more than just a fabric, it's a symbol of pride and culture for millions across West Africa, deeply embedded in their identity and heritage. I bet you've been in touch with this fabric one way or the other, but have you ever asked where and how it all began? The journey and history of Ankara is what we are about to uncover, and how it became a powerful emblem of African heritage. The story of Ankara begins not in Africa, but thousands of miles away in Indonesia, using the batik techniques. Batik is an ancient Indonesian art from where wax is used to create different patterns on fabric. The process involves applying wax to certain areas of the fabric to resist dye, creating elaborate designs. In the 19th century, Dutch colonizers who controlled Indonesia recognized the appeal of batik and then sought to replicate it. They adapted the technique using industrial methods such as roller printing to produce the fabric more efficiently and in larger quantities. Talking about its transition to West Africa, Dutch manufacturers initially aimed to sell the printed batik fabric in Indonesia and Europe. However, fabric found a more enthusiastic market in West Africa, where it was embraced for its vibrant colors and patterns. The Dutch prints, while not initially popular in Europe, became highly prized in West African countries, evolving into what is now known as Ankara. How about its cultural integration? Well, the exact individual or company responsible for introducing batik to the African market is not well documented, but over time, Ankara became deeply integrated into West African culture, symbolizing various aspects of identity, status, and tradition. Despite its Indonesian origins, it is now predominantly recognized as a quintessential element of African fashion. It is clear that the adaptation and adoption of batik by Dutch traders played a crucial role in the fabric's journey to West Africa. By the early 20th century, these vibrant fabrics had become deeply embedded in the West African culture, from bustling markets to family gatherings. Ankara was more than just clothing. It was a statement of identity, social status, and unity. Even today, Ankara continues to hold a special place in West African society, alongside other widely recognized fabrics, reflecting the region's rich textile heritage. Talking about human civilization and the remarkable transformation of covering our body, Ankara fabric stands out with a deep historical roots. Let's take a look at some of the beautiful collections and hear from one of the biggest retailer in Balogun Market, Lagos Island.
I deal in what you call it, Ankara fabrics. We have the big one, which is vegetable block wax. That's the bigger range. You have the medium range. They are also vegetable block wax. So those are the two types of category that we sell. We buy from wholesalers, which is on the mainland. Then we sell. Like people use it for ashwebi. Some people use it for ready to wear, like tailors. They use it for ready to wear. And some people just buy it for maybe like a mini celebration, or in short, all celebration, all ceremony and celebration. So this one now, this is a medium high target, vegetable block wax. This is a medium one. If you touch it, you will see the texture. It's not that 100% cotton. So compared to this one is a big one. Yeah. So when you touch it, you see the difference. This big one, this medium.
This is big, this is medium.
Yes. That's the difference. This has more quality than this. So that's the difference. And it's not that this one is bad. It's just that some people's pockets that will determine if you can go for big. Some don't like the medium one, so they go for this. They based on this. Buy some that can't afford this, just buy this.
So the rest is just about design.
Yes.
The two types that you have here.
Yes.
The rest is just about design, different designs.
It's not.
As West Africa gained independence in the 1960s, Ankara's popularity soared. It became a symbol of African pride, a rejection of colonial influences, and an embrace of cultural heritage. From everyday wear to high fashion, Ankara represented a new era of self-expression.
We are playing with this machine. We have this time. So you can leave it for 5 minutes, you can leave it for 3 minutes, depends on how strong you want it to be. So and as long as you can keep it for that a couple of times, that's how it will last.
Will last, okay.
And another thing that make it fade off easily is washing machine.
Oh.
Yeah, when you are using a washing machine.
So it should be hand washed, not
strong wash. You know, Ankara is not something that, especially when it's adult clothes, you know, it's not something that you rub on the floor. It's also some particular places to wash.
Ankara is for both sex, male and female. And we have adopted it as an African one. Even some of our brothers abroad is taking it outside to show us an African way. A lot of people see it as the easiest fabric that you can take and make anything that you want out of it. That's why no matter how tough the market is, there are influx of hands going out. And you know it's not only in Lagos, when you bring it out, about people with all sorts of places. So that is how we spread. So you'll be surprised that you're sitting down here, you will see design today, tomorrow you come, you don't see it again. So there are some trends in Ankara, there are some outfit that is like, well, we can't specify now because anybody can wear anything, but you see some colors that are too sharp. You say that is outside color. Igbos like dull color, yellowish, and you know there are some like this one that is here now, an Igbo uniform, that fragrance stuff. An Igbo uniform, if you see, go to.
Okay.
If you go to function, you see things like that. And if you go to market, it's a separate time. The price is different. It doesn't move like the others.
Okay.
So you have to buy with caution.
Today, Ankara is not just a fabric, it's a global phenomenon, worn by millions. It graces runways from Lagos to Paris, New York to Tokyo. As a symbol of African pride and identity, Ankara continues to evolve, influencing fashion, art, and culture worldwide. From its unexpected beginnings in Indonesia to becoming a powerful symbol of African identity, Ankara's journey is a proof to the resilience and creativity of West Africa. However, as we move forward, what challenges and opportunities lie ahead for this iconic fabric? Join us in the next episode as we explore the current state of Ankara production and the hurdles it faces into this global market. I am Grace Komalafe. See you again.
In an age of artificial intelligence and automation, it is easy to overlook the value of hands. Yet in Ghana, hands still build nations. From Adinkra cloth printers in Ntoso to traditional kente weavers in Bonwere, Ghana's indigenous skill economy continues to prove that African creativity is not just cultural, it is commercial. Looking beyond the surface of heritage to the engine room of informal training systems that have powered generations and could power Africa's industrial future, Ghana comes to mind. In Ghana, apprenticeship is not a fallback. It is the main highway for millions of young people who are learning practical trades like metalwork, leatherwork, carpentry, fabric dyeing, and advanced tailoring. According to the Ghana Statistical Service, more than 80% of artisans are trained informally, yet they contribute significantly to the GDP. This is not unique to Ghana. From the woodcarvers of Kenya to the bronze casters of Nigeria, Africa is a continent of craftspeople. But Ghana offers a model where traditional skill acquisition meets modern enterprise development. Institutions like the Council for Technical and Vocational Education and Training, COTVET, have begun integrating indigenous knowledge into formal systems, developing a dual-track model that combines age-old methods with certification, mentorship, and business incubation. As Africa looks for solutions to youth unemployment, the answer may not lie in importing Western education models, but in elevating what we already have. Imagine if every African country invested in formalizing informal skills, adding value chains, technology, and access to export markets. The challenge, as always, is perception. We must stop seeing artisanship as inferior. Ghana is showing that welding can build wealth and textile design can drive trade. The African hand is skilled. The African mind is gifted. What remains is for policy and investment to catch up with potential. In Ghana's apprentices, they don't just see workers, they see a future workforce Africa can proudly call its own. I'm Moyosore Adebi for SOUQ News TV.
In April 1960, just months before Nigeria's independence, a 26-year-old ascended one of the most revered thrones in Yoruba land. His name, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona. His reign, almost 65 years. His legacy, a modernized crown, a globalized culture, and an unwavering voice for truth. Born 10th of May 1934 into the royal house of Anikinaya to Prince Rufai Adetono Adeleke and Ajibabi Adetono Ne Onashile, Sikiru Kayode Adetono's royal destiny was set early. He attended Baptist School, Ereko, in 1943, Ogbere United Primary School, and Ansarudin School, Ijebu-Ode, before enrolling at Oluiwa College, now Adeola Odutola College, from 1951 to 1956. He later worked briefly in the audit department of the Western region in Ibadan, before leaving for the United Kingdoms in 1958 to study accountancy. But history had other plans. On the 2nd of April 1960, he was installed as the 58th Awujale of Ijebu land, taking the regnal name Ogbagba Agbotewole II. Young, confident, and stepping into leadership just as the new Nigeria was emerging, marking the beginning of one of the longest and the most consequential reigns in Nigeria's history. Despite his demanding role, Oba Adetono maintained close family ties. He was married and blessed with children who were raised in the blend of royal tradition and modern education that defined his worldview. Known to be a devoted family man, he valued privacy in personal matters, but ensured his children had opportunities for education both within and outside Nigeria. Socially, he was at ease in multiple wards, equally comfortable in palace courts, university lecture halls, diplomatic gatherings, or informal community events. He cultivated friendships across business, politics, and academia, yet was deeply rooted in his hometown, often mingling with his people during festivals and communal projects. The coup that saved a king. But destiny tested him. In the early 1980s, a government commission of inquiry moved against him. Suspension and deposition loomed. The order was to take effect in early 1984. Then came 31st December 1983. A military coup swept away the civilian administration, and with it, the threat to his throne. The Awujale returned more respected, more resolute. Beyond royal ceremonies, Oba Adetona built a reputation as a monarch unafraid to challenge authority. He spoke plainly on governance, justice, and public accountability. In 2016, he institutionalized those ideas by endowing a 250 million naira professorial chair in governance at Olabisi Onabanjo University, OOU, the first of its kind by a Nigerian traditional ruler. It was a deliberate investment in shaping ethical leadership for generations to come. The Ojude Oba Festival long predicted his reign, but under Adetona, it became an international spectacle, a celebration of Ijebu identity, Yoruba elegance, interfaith harmony, and cultural soft power. It drew politicians, captains of industry, global tourists, and the diaspora to Ijebu each year, making it both a cultural statement and an economic engine. Adetona presided over a kingdom of religious plurality, Islam, Christianity, and traditional worship, often using his platform to advocate tolerance. Though a devout Muslim and president of the United Muslim Council, he regularly attended Christian events and encouraged interfaith harmony. And now, the final chapter. On 13th July 2025, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona Ogbagba Agbotewole II passed away at the age of 91. He was buried according to Ijebu customs in solemn rites, shielded from public view. Attention now turns to succession and the weight of following one of Nigeria's longest-serving traditional rulers. Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona reigned across 3 Nigerias: the colonial twilight, the start of military rule, and the promises and failures of democracy. He proved